Rayania, it's such a pleasure to welcome you to the Soul Collective. Thank you for being here.
Such an honor. I've been really looking forward to our conversation since a long, long time. And I know you have been bringing through the most amazing heart center spiritual teachers and, people who are here to share, to contribute to the creation of the new earth. So I'm super honored to be in your presence and to be in a
Uh,
part.
well, thank you for being here. We were chatting a little bit before we started recording, and one of the things that I absolutely love about you is just every time you share, it is always so filled with authenticity and from the heart and vulnerability. And so I'm so excited to just see where this conversation takes us. Such potent times that we are connecting in. And, one of the questions that I'd love to ask you is looking at your bio and, just one of the things that you mentioned is about not being fully maybe celebrated as a woman coming into this incarnation. And gosh, what a tumultuous start. I'd love to know, what that was like for you and how that shaped your soul journey.
Yeah, sorry, the emotions already coming up, I think. Um, so I remember when I was growing up, my mom, my aunts, and the family always loved to joke about how much my paternal grandmother um didn't want me. She refused to talk to me, she refused to acknowledge me because I was a girl. And they joke about it because they say, that made my maternal grandmother very like, okay, I will stand up for my grandchild. So she sort of defended me and really nourished me in the way that she didn't do for her own children. And I just thought it's just an anecdote. I didn't know it affected me at all. Um, and somehow, through so in Taiwan, our culture is that there's nothing you need to do but to study. So I didn't learn how to cook. I didn't learn how to clean. All I did growing up was just study, study in order to go to the best university, get the best job, and then of course find a man and stuff like that. And I remember after I graduated from university, I went into international business, as the Taiwan was famous for manufacturing and as a bridging um, interface. And I remember surrounded by all the men. And I remember vividly that I felt like I need to be like them. I need to speak like them. I need to act like them. And there's always this sense of that I am not enough. I'm not good enough. And, whatever I have to say is not important because, there's always a man or someone else that knows better than I did.
Mm.
And And it was really until fairly recently, I would say, after such a long decades of spiritual healing, then I realized that thought of that I was unwanted as a woman because I was not important and because women is not worthy. It's not even less worthy. It's like not worthy. Like you don't, in the culture, like you don't deserve your own name, property. And if you made something out of yourself, I remember I went to the best university, and then there was a saying in Taiwanese that says, "Oh, it's hard to translate, but in the meaning that it should be the yeah, the pig should be it should be the pig that gets fat. Instead, it was the dog that gets fat. It doesn't make sense, but it's meaning that it should be my brother that went to the best university, had the best degree instead of me, because I am just a girl, I was just meant to take responsibility of taking care of the whole family,
Mm.
instead of making myself, instead of going to a good university, getting a good job, things like that. Yeah, so I'll pause here.
Yeah, it runs so deep. It takes it takes time to unweave and unwind just even the subtle threads of that, cultural, ancestral um,
Mm.
programming. And, a lot of what you shared deeply resonates because I feel like a lot of it is kind of cultural, especially the education piece and perhaps, whatever, we're taught maybe can can create an emphasis on really focusing more on the external achievements in order to find that validation that we're seeking. And
Mm.
so it's interesting, just the, success in international business and in the tech world. And, how did that feel when you were kind of going through it? Was there a sense of like, this is out of alignment, or were you at the time just kind of in that realm?
Yeah. So when I was still working in corporate and tech field, I just felt there gotta be I knew that the value was not in alignment, this value of competition and this value of, there were very few women when I started, and we had stereotype, right? Like either you are a bitch, you have to act like men, and then men people will laugh at you as you are a bitch, like a spinster, something like that, or you have to conform
Mm,
to a stereotype of femininity. And I think, because of my upbringing, so I sort of leaning to, I don't want to be seen as a bitch, like people, I don't want to be judged. So I play into a very docile role of
mm,
obedience, of agreeable, of pleasant. And all the time, I just, I felt there was this sense of exhaustion, as if like, I need to prove myself. I need to fit in. I need to become at least as good as someone, some of my male colleagues. And I worked myself to burn out a
mm,
few times. And I remember even on, a few memories is that I was on my moon days and I was on business trip, like going out to dinner, drinking and talking until very late. So I remember there was this sense of like, oh my God, I'm totally exhausted. But I fought against my own body. I fought against my own intuition, and I was just trying to fit in. I was just trying to be successful, to make the money, the title, the sales, and all that. And it was just this sense of emptiness and exhaustion. I think exhaustion is what would summarize. So and then I had really like all the time when I was working, I had this huge anxiety.
mm,
Like there's something not right, something missing.
mm.
Um, so yeah. Mm,
Yeah, I just want to highlight that because I feel like it deeply resonates. And I feel like, yes, in addition to the go, go, go and the, the going out to drinks and, the fast-paced nature, it's also so exhausting
mm,
to wear a mask, to not allow your full authentic self to shine, and to maybe show up in like a singular dimension, like you were saying, like the docile or something like this, and instead of expressing the full multidimensional nature of who you are.
mm. Yeah, I definitely resonate, and I feel it has taken such a long journey, so even when I would say intentionally, I quit my corporate job and just really dedicated to the healing and really wanted to develop a spiritual business, just, use my gift to serve. And I think that sense of unworthiness or not important was really in the way as well. So I actually brought that sense of exhaustion into my spiritual path.
Yeah, so many I'm sure can relate to exactly what you're sharing, yeah, and I'd love to hear more about how that has unfolded and unwinded for you.
Oh. Oh, even just the thought of talking about it. Um, so so when I transit to the spiritual path, I would say, I just thought things were gonna fall into place very smoothly, easily, which were not, which it did not happen because, of course, because I was really going about at the path, on my path in a, I would say not, I was not aligned and I didn't know. I didn't know. So when I started training as a past life regression therapist or learning all about this amazing gifts like healing and crystal and multidimensional therapies, I just felt that I need to read and learn as much as I can because all I see was people were successful, they are gifted, they were born psychic and they can talk to angels and aliens and say, oh my God, I never had any experience like that. And I don't think I'm psychic. I don't think I'm intuitive. I don't think I have any gifts. And so I feel that that sense of, or that perception, that I took
Mm,
on my birth, women and whatever, just really perpetuate self in my pursuit of the truth of who I am.
yeah.
So I took with it, when I took on a learning, I would always look out to see, oh, someone else is better, but I don't know anything. So I try to read as much as I can. I watch a lot of video, hundreds of thousands of hours. I would just like dive in and I try to absorb, like just devour all this knowledge and information.
Mm,
And yeah, I will pause here, but I would just like to share, like, that is not about discovering who we are. It was just really perpetuate that masculine way of, mm, I don't know, taking in, like, without digestion, without connection. Of
mhm.
course, I tried, but I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple things that are really coming through strongly with that share is just the one of like really not being able to see yourself clearly, not being able to fully recognize and acknowledge your own gifts. And also the pattern, the continuation of,
Mm.
okay, I know education has been stressed before, so I'm gonna follow this and I'm gonna study and I'm gonna apply myself, which can be great, but it's like almost just the softening into allowing the gifts to emerge and unfold. And to your point in sharing, like really the welcoming in sort of this divine feminine energy of just allowing yourself to be.
Yeah. And it's uncomfortable to be. And I think I was applying the masculine way of, okay, I'm just gonna be. And and then there's it just it is just that there was, like, I love what you said in the, like, I was not able to see myself because I, like, there's a mask and I don't think I consciously chose to put on that mask. But of course, there was this need to be accepted, right? Because I was not accepted upon birth, and to be liked, to be part of something. And I feel that mask also stopped me from seeing the truth, like
Mm,
myself as well, because I just did not know who I am. And I try to see myself through the eyes of external validation.
mhm, mhm.
And it's just not the right, not the best glasses.
Oh, and I feel like we're winding that so much collectively is like the programming of unworthiness or not enough, or I need to do something externally in order to prove my worth and validation here. And I feel this work is so deep. It's such, requires such attunement to our own healing journey and path and deepening of self-love, which I know has been such a big part of what you share. And how you help others to really embrace and accept embrace their own gifts. How do we begin to do that?
What a beautiful question. I would start by saying, that that especially your audience, I know that who tune into your podcast, who just resonate with your beautiful energy, definitely are here to mm, to make a beautiful difference or contribution
Mm,
to the humanity, to the collective. And it could sound so grand. And however, it starts with hmm, it starts with willing to willing to let go of, I would say, the metrics, the conditioning, the programs.
mm,
And but it's as if that there are, I think for people who could see that there is such a struck construct of belief and system and imprints, around us, right? In our system, in our different subtle bodies. And the simplest way I would say actually is truly to give ourselves the permission to accept ourselves.
mm,
Like, start by accepting where we are, who we are, what we have done up until now, the struggle, the glories, but also the struggle, the pain, the whatever that has been our experience, and start by accepting. And I feel it sounds so easy, but it's truly is accepting that it is enough. Where I am, who I am right now
mm,
is enough. Like, this moment, the me at this moment, the energy I'm emitting out, the words I can speak, or I can already help people, or I could already, a lot of people are here to work with the land and nature, are already in itself a purpose manifested in the physical realm.
mm,
Even though I am not as psychic as I want to be yet, I cannot talk to the animal yet, I am exactly useful, worthy, and just the way I'm meant to be.
mm,
It's like accept everything that has happened to us, the bad, the good, the bad, the ugly, and then decide to see ourselves from a new point of view, as if like, okay, I'm just gonna stop looping myself in that story of worthiness or unworthiness.
mhm.
It's like a never, you're not, it's not even the right question to ask, am I worthy?
Yeah,
Because it's a it's a defeating question, because we know we are already worthy, because we are like super powerful source consciousness.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and something that's coming through as you're sharing is really, maybe a lot I feel like can relate to the journey of perhaps a path that didn't feel super authentic, whether it was corporate or something else that just was like, okay, this is the thing that I'm supposed to do, and then this internal recognition and realization, okay, there's a more aligned, authentic path for me to follow, and I desire to make a contribution. And, this feeling can also, in some ways, be that chasing of validation or, the worthiness. And I feel like something that you touched on is so important, which is like really embracing the messy
Mm.
parts of ourself in that place and space where we are healing or we are going through a tough season or moment or turbulent time, and learning how to really accept and love ourselves in those moments, in the fullness of it, as opposed to like wait till I get to my exalted state of being, whatever that is.
Yeah, yeah, that is so beautiful. I can feel such a resonance. And I feel there is such also a struggle of, like you say, we wanted to already be that version that we deem successful or lovable, or who has amazing gift, who help already a lot of people or made a lot of money, or finding that connection of joy, or be in a community, right? And at the same time, a lot of people, I would say, actually have been, like you said, like looping in this spiritual path in a way that feel like I need to have my gifts activated. I need to be able to speak the light language or channel, or a healing. And then of course there's a natural desire that I wanted to start, making this something I love into a full-time thing that could support me, because a lot of people have been done with the corporate life that doesn't resonate fully. Um, and I would say it's almost like we also get to love the part of who we were or who we have been when we were working in the corporate world.
Mm.
Someone like it's part of the package, but a lot of people were like, no, the corporate, like you are like less, right? Like we are now coming to this spirituality. And I feel like, the thing we resist, we judge, we is something that keep us sort of attached as well.
Yes.
So I would say for people who truly really wanted to move, transition to to the spiritual business, or using your gift as a coach, healer, or many other type, a chef, a vegan author, or something like that. It's really also about accept and truly come to the space of falling in love. Like, oh my God, what a exquisite human plan that I have been going through. you know
Mm.
like whoever was there to the obstacle, the failed marriage, or the narcissistic boss, or partner, whatever story that have been part of who we were up until now, just coming to this space of accepting, and because know that it is our own choice to have gone through that, and it's not a less, right? Like 3D corporate is not less, because we are meant to be where we are,
Mhm.
even when we were so unconscious of how we were being, we were unauthentic and stuff like that. But it's really about gaining the experience. It's like collecting data so we can write a better story, or a movie, or
Yes, yes, that's such an empowering and beautiful way of really embracing our soul's journey and each and every moment, and how it is all so divinely orchestrated and
yeah.
purposeful, to our soul's growth and evolution. And, the more that we can surrender into the experience and the journey, as opposed to like looking at the benchmarks or looking externally, it's like the more that it just happens and unfolds organically and naturally.
Yeah.
And, I feel like a key ingredient that you really brought forth is like the excitement and the joy, like that childlike curiosity and play, and courage also, because I know you. I know that you are an amazing channel. And I also know, light language or channeling, or, gifts like this maybe aren't accepted in certain cultural, um, belief systems or things like this. And so to have the courage to say, this is my authentic truth, this is my path, these are my gifts that I want to explore, deepen into, share, takes a lot of courage. And I
Mm.
feel like that's an ingredient to be able to even connect with our gifts.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, I definitely that resonate, and I know you too. Like, I know you really took a lot of courageous decisions and actions to again and again to like break free from your limitation, right? Like from your past conditionings.
Mm.
And and I honor you for that. And I love what you say about courage because I know, like, in the social media, and then when a lot of people, I would say majority, if not everyone, of star CEO souls and what else, like galactic seeds or whatever identity we take on, we all have imprints of being persecuted or something like that, or even just the collective catastrophe, right? A different lifetime that catastrophe happened because of whatever stories that we participate in. And so there was this imprint that are still, well, have been playing out. So a lot of us feel like, oh, besides unworthiness, like there's such a fear for me to show up, to speak my truth, and like at the same time there's desire to be open up to our authentic self.
Mm.
And there are like different forces playing into it. And I love what you say, it's about courage. Because a lot of people I feel like they think in order to be visible, I need to be confident. But it's not about confidence. It's not about fake it until make it. It's not about I'm gonna adopt this male marketing way of like, oh, I pretend to be confident and then I will be able to, connect with the people. I feel it's really about choosing to walk toward the fear.
Yes.
Right? The fear of being authentic, the fear of being rejected or abandoned, because those eh, unconscious imprints. But
Mhm.
it's about choosing, in my limited time on earth, what do I desire to live the rest of my life? And oh my God, I went through the whole, tons of experience and suffering and struggles. And what for? And now it's for this moment onward. Like we are here to turn those experience, the pain, the tear, the grief, the powerless, the struggle, the fear, into the nutrient that fertilize our garden of authenticity.
Yes.
Right. So instead of digging into those pain, it's about really honor what has happened, what we chose, and then choose courageously to, okay, I'm gonna align to my authenticity, even though I don't know who I am. I'm just gonna lean in. I'm gonna go toward what is scared me, what is scaring me.
Mm.
So it's not, I feel like visibility in our soul gift, it's not about being confident or about being psychic and open all my third eye and sixth eye. I don't know how many eyes there are. It's really about choosing, have the courage to choose, to know who you are and
Mm.
leaning into it to peel away layers and layers of the untruth. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that so much because I feel like, you know, myself included, like if you had asked me, are you a confident person?
Mm.
That's not a word that I would definitely use to describe myself, but then how is confidence cultivated if you feel like it's elusive or eluding you at times when you want to step out and do something that is outside of your comfort zone? I feel like to your point in sharing, it is that courage, that muscle to just step outside of your comfort zone. And in that experience, you develop that muscle that says, okay, I've walked this path before, I can do it again.
Yeah.
And that is in my experience the way courage is cultivated, as through the fire, but through taking steps in that direction. And something else that you mentioned that I feel is important because a lot of times it's like, well, I'm not sure what my soul gifts are, or like I'm not sure. I know I want to do something, but I'm not sure how my gifts combine into creating something new. And I think part of it is like the intention to recognize your own gifts, because what we were talking about sort of in the beginning is like the barrier of really fully seeing. So I feel like a first step or a important ingredient is to really have the intention of belief to recognize and fully see yourself.
Yeah. That is such a hard thing to do. Okay. Okay, I will rephrase that. That takes practice, and well, circling back to what you were saying, that it really takes radical ultimate self-love,
Mm,
like self-love beyond the surface things that we do. It's truly, truly to explore what it feels like to fall in love with our own soul self and soul journey.
mm. Yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because I feel really at this time so much is being created and reimagined. There's so much that's being birthed in a new form. And so that isn't following a prescriptive path, and systems are being completely reimagined. And that's the beauty of us co-creating with expressing our unique gifts. But that doesn't mean that there's this formula that one can follow. It's really leaning in and trusting that you're being guided in a completely different and unique way. And that I feel like is the beauty and the challenge, and what you were sharing about, like really leaning into a spiritual business offering, or just even, you're leaning into your spiritual gifts. Would you say
Mm.
that's been a part of your experience?
Wow. Yeah, that has been such a struggle. Okay. And everything serves its purpose, right? I felt like in this experience of recognizing my own gifts and my own self, the all the things that I'm emitting and I'm bringing to this world. It's it's about asking the right question.
Mhm.
Um, I know that we heard this before, but and I wanted to just share the experiences that, because it's so easy to get caught up in asking, if I wanted to feel worthy, then I need to be successful and I need to be visible, then I need to make certain money. I need my business to bring, well, or whatever thing to bring me certain abundance of money. So I feel it's so easy to get caught up in how, in the external measurement, I would say, and in order to see ourselves and to feel valid.
Hmm.
And like you were saying, that it's truly about, I would say it's about allowing ourselves to to know that, yes, these are the programs and these are the experience up until now, and I'm now ready to let all this fall away. And of course, sometimes it's not like that, right? The healing sometimes takes over time, but it's really about the conscious choice of that. Okay, if I were not this patterning and conditioning in my childhood experience and my own definition of myself, or whoever said something about me, then who am I? And it's I feel one thing that I wanted to mention and is also to connect with people that you feel in resonance with, that could give you a helping hand.
Hmm.
Right? So we are all here we started our journey in a different way. And not to mention that we, like, everyone has our soul groups, so families. So we all agree that before we came, we said, if I forgot, remind me.
Mm, yeah.
So we are here to remind each other, of course, in the form of teaching you how to channel, sharing with you how to connect with crystal or talk to animals. We are just here to remind each other that you are so much more powerful. And then you decide to come here to share all your gifts that you have been preparing yourself for so many lifetimes.
Hmm.
And when we ask one another, like, if I get caught up in my self-doubt, in my self-sabotaging, okay, I think it's, I don't know, it's like maybe the celestial confirmation. I keep receiving the ding, ding, ding. Like we all bring with so many gifts that remind me, when I forget, when trapped in my self-doubt, unworthiness, help me out of this journey, right? Help me out of this loop and this pit. And that's why I am very, very grateful that I have amazing teachers and mentors and friends, like through different modality that support me to connect to different aspect of myself.
Mm.
And that's, I feel that's the fun part of being human on this, spiritual journey, is to connect with people who you resonate with, and then you say, remind each other, and then have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was going to ask you about soul, family, spiritual community. How for you personally has that been cultivated?
Mm. Yeah, I knew about soul family, soul group, even when I was still just, before my official awakening. And I was wondering that, oh, wow, I really wanted to meet people. And
That you
then
could be real with and express your authentic self.
yeah, yeah. And I realized this type of people, or how do we meet them? We meet them through following the breadcrumb of our intuition and our guidance. You say, okay, I feel like I need to go to this workshop, or, go to this course, or talk to this stranger that I met for the first time. It's really about having that curiosity, and just go attend that thing that you feel you are guided to, you are nudged to, you feel curious, interested. So really just a short remark is like, take the money out of the equation. It's, instead of getting caught up like, yeah, but it costs this money, I need to save, and then I need to, be in my cave. Really, life is really about opening up and connect with the people, your soul family, because you are here to co-create. We could see that, oh, I'm here to connect with the people that truly resonate, and then it's the people that truly see me or see us, and I can also see them, and that itself is very, very healing, because
Mhm.
most of us were never seen as who we really are, right? Like we were always seeing, I mean, we have to be a certain way in order to be accepted. That those are the, the life that's in old conditioning. And moving forward, like when we meet the soul family, that we already had agreement, whether we work together or not, just simply by connecting.
Hmm.
I feel that our fields have already like exchanged a lot of information, and then energizing each of our presence and assistance or existence. Yeah.
Yes, 1,000%. I love how you describe that because, so much can be activated just in the field of somebody that you have that resonance, that frequency, connection with. And I want to go back to something that you said, which was like, it's not about the money, just, which can be hard, right? If you're like, well, this requires this retreat, this experience is, yeah. So I would love to know, like in your personal journey, have you recognized and seen how really like this divine flow of circulation of abundance, and really taking that step and trusting, whether it's, investing in experience or something like, or your business or something like this.
Yeah. I wanted to just be honest. Like, um, lately I have a few sessions like people booked in, and then they come in, they say, I need you to like the channel message, right? Like they ask like, I need abundance. I'm struggling with money. And then the human me would say, why would these people come to me? Because I was struggling with money, right? I chose to participate in this illusion of, how limited money is, and then money has to come a certain way from a certain source. And and when I look back my own journey, that's why I said don't make money the middleman.
Hmm.
Because it's never about money. It's about how much you choose yourself to, honor the intuition, the guidance. Like a lot of people say, I wanted to have a better connection with my guides and my guidance. And that is the moment when we do that, when we keep following that nudges and intuition. That's how we strengthening this connection with our guides, our higher self. Right. And I realized that whatever that is in our highest good, like for example, to go to this retreat, and then I met amazing friends or soul family. It was when those moments we truly chose ourselves. The money will sort itself out. I know it sounds, you know, a bit woo, but it does, because we are such a beautiful, powerful creator. We would make it work if we truly want something. And I'm sure many listening to this can recall a few experiences that, oh, I I I didn't have money, but agreed to go on a trip or to sacred site. I agreed to go on a workshop, and I received money from different ways. So it's almost like money is a consciousness. It's like a tool we choose to help us fulfill this existence. And I will even go so far. I think in a few channeling message, they come through the message is that what when we chose to come into this human existence, and then we have certain, let's say, just blueprint or outline that we wanted to do this and that, wanted maybe, create a certain project or business or company or things. And we also brought with us everything that is needed, that is required for us to fulfill our mission, fulfill our purpose, fulfill our business, fulfill our project, right? So we brought with us not only the gifts that are available to support our fullest expression of our highest blueprint, if that's what we choose. We also brought with us all the resources, the money, opportunity, doorway, and synchronicities.
Yes.
So, so it's really about where we put our focus on. And like what I was sharing, that I asked the wrong question. I put the focus on money instead of, you know what is it I'm here to do? What do I want desire to create out of this decision?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Such a potent reminder. I love that we really have all of the tools and the resources to be able to fulfill our soul's highest intention and mission here. And there's
Yeah.
a quote, I think it's by Tony Robbins, that it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. And
Yeah. Mm.
I love that quote. I feel such a good reminder that when we look at things from a creative perspective, that so many more potentialities appear.
Yeah. Yeah. When you are saying this, I have this sense of image that it's really about where we chose to direct our source energy toward, right? Like we choose to open the floodgate of the source energy to flow through us, to direct, to open the random conversation or the contact of someone for the resources and opportunity to come through, or for the opportunity to meet the soul family. And because of that excitement or because of that encouragement, we decide to try something. And then, like we would never know a childlike, curious, fun idea will turn into. So I mean, many people hear about Bashar talking about follow your joy, and it is truly like that. It's about tapping into that energy of higher frequency of what is calling me and what really lights me up and set me on fire.
Mhm.
And of course, it's easier to say, but it is like that when we are allowing ourselves again and again to follow that decision or that nudges to that sets us on fire, like this excitement. Of course, sometimes you feel like scared, but that is a good scared because we are being nudged out of the comfort zone. And that's where the magic will happen.
Mm. What have been some, um, courageous things that have been unfolding for you recently that have really been, a result of you following your highest excitement?
Wow. Um, I would say it was it was very scary. It was finally I decided to follow the guidance and started, like organize a group of people and support them to open to channeling.
Hmm.
And it was super scary because the human me was like, I don't know, if I could teach people how to do this, and I truly was petrified. However, I also know that that fear is persisting because there is some golden nuggets for me to lean into, right? Like the fear is protecting us, but it's also like a sign of that's where your growth will be.
Hmm.
And so of course, I did what I can to overcome the fear. And we went through the first group, and it was just amazing, humbling, life exchanging life changing experience for all of the attendees. And some of them even, you know we thought it's only about channeling, but they also were able to remove some of the blockages, since childhood and from a different lifetime, that their personal life also changes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm talking about this is because never underestimate, when we truly follow our heart and our guidance, what impact we could create. And of course, allow the mind of, like the mind will have different stories, but it's like we said in the beginning, right? Choose the courage to follow what your heart is guiding you, and just decide to be open, the childlike curiosity to see what will happen. You
Hmm.
know, And usually, I think that's when magic will happen, when we follow the highest excitement and joy. And
Yes. Yes. I love that. And this is such, like we talked about earlier, just such transformational time to be on the planet. So much change that's taking place that can feel exciting, and at times it can feel overwhelming. And
Mm.
I'd love, as we kind of wind this conversation down, I've just loved all that you've brought through and shared. And I'd love if you could bring through a channeled message just to help us navigate these times.
Hey, okay. Yeah, I would love to. Okay, so let me just say, there's so much excitement. So my intention is to be the pure conduit of the highest frequency, to bring through the message that serve the highest good and the highest good of all. Greetings. Greetings. We are super excited and delighted to be present with you. We are the Galactic Council of Light. Many of you who tune into this message are indeed beautiful, powerful galactic warriors that you brought with you so many resources for this lifetime, for the work you are here to create. We are saying that not to give pressure on you, but instead allowing you to know that you have everything you need in order to create the life and the vision that lies at the very center of your heart. And of course, the time is challenging because so many changes and crumbling, and we would also say a lot of you have big heart, the suffering, the pain, the grief that is surfacing to the world. We would invite you to truly step into the place of sovereignty, knowing that everyone is here too, is the story writer, the director of their own life. So they wrote the story they choose to experience. So be in your own land of your life. Hold the highest compassion and love for the individuals or the country or the events or the collective that you deem are suffering. Know that they are also powerful source, a light being, that they are learning, they are experiencing what they need to learn, what they need to experience in order for them to become the higher version of themselves. And so do you, our beloved. You are here to become the fuller version of yourself, to feel and experience that deliciousness, that juiciness, that fullness, that radiance of being human at this time on earth. It is a magical time. So direct your energy and your focus on what you desire to create, what you desire to experience. It is about commending and asking, and choose to walk on the path that you choose to experience. So instead of digging in the past, we want you to truly follow the vision of your heart, and your higher self is guiding you, is nudging you, and ask curious question. How can I be of service today? How can I be the fuller version of myself today? How can I have a meaningful, fulfilling day today? And to be of service, to shine my light, to get to know myself better, to love myself a little bit better, and fall in love with myself, and to fall in love with the people that's in my life, whether it start by forgiving them and forgive yourself. So we will not we have so much more to share with you, our beloved. It's such an exciting, potent time. And truly, if there's one thing that you will take away, is to know that you are fully worthy and capable of creating the life you desire, whether it's a family, it's a business, it's a full devotion and service and expression of your highest gifts. Know that they are all possible. So direct your focus, direct your intention, and truly set yourself on fire in discovering how incredible, how magical, how synchronistic this life could be. And ask for support. Ask for support from the human, your fellow colleague human on earth, or the celestial team. And know that you are always, your ask is always answered. It's up to you whether you are open to hear and receive. And know that, again, you are worthy of anything and everything that your heart truly desires, because that's what you came here for. That's what you came here for. We are sending you so much love, and know that you are always supported and guided with so much blessings and infinite love.
Beautiful. What potent words of wisdom to end this conversation on, Rayania. Thank you so much for your heart, your authenticity, for sharing from your personal experience and your highest excitement. It's just really exciting to witness you
Mm.
and your path. And so, thank you so much for being here and for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for your devotion to your path as well, for you to come to this beautiful place to create this beautiful community. And I honor your courage. I honor your love for humanity as well. So thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much love to you and to everyone listening. We'll see you next time.
See you next time, everybody.